If you love talking about cats, but your friends and family are kind of over it, this is the podcast for you. Join your hosts, Danielle Stray Woolley and Elizabeth Calico Gearhart, on the Jersey PodCats, where everyday cat lovers share funny stories, challenging situations, and ask their questions about cats. All right, let's get right into this episode.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle Woolley.
And I'm Elizabeth Gearhart, and we are the Jersey PodCats.
Oh, I was going to do it that time. I changed my mind. I don't know why. I like to keep you on your toes. Sometimes I say it, sometimes I don't. Well, we are really excited today to have a really cool guest who's going to talk about some really awesome animals that he loves. And Elizabeth is going to be leading, not just because we're going to be talking about booze, but because Elizabeth is awesome. Take it away.
Well, I am so delighted to meet Sid Chon, and I've got to tell you, I looked at his website and he's here with us. We're going to chat with him, but he went and did his research. He's like, okay, if I want to raise money for a charitable cause, in his case, it's helping poor suffering animals, what market should I go to? And he's like, well, there are a lot of people in this country who like to drink booze. So
smart man.
Smart man. So why not start Booze for Paws, where you sell alcohol and 100% of the profits go to help poor animals. So Sid, we are so impressed with you. We can't even believe somebody would have such a brilliant idea. Tell us how you got there.
Well, that's awfully kind of you to say. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to chat with both of you. The idea kind of is just a synergy of two things that I really love, animals and booze. So it's kind of one of those things where we've all seen the Sarah McLachlan commercials, and at one point I just got tired of throwing my wallet at the screen and being like,
yeah.
Just take all my money. And there's so many amazing people that are trying to help animals. Folks like you guys that do the podcast, and people that are on the rescue side. Like, it's just, there's this amazing community of people that are trying to help animals, but there's a very limited pool of resources. And unfortunately, some of the bigger ones end up getting a lot of the attention just because they're bigger and they have the opportunity to be able to reach more people. But a lot of the boots on the ground end up competing for this limited pool of resources. So my thought was, like you were saying earlier, there's a lot of drinkers, not just in America, but across the world. It's a huge market. And if we could just tap into a little bit of that market, that would be phenomenal to try and create this kind of self-renewing, fairly endless stream of revenue for smaller nonprofits. I did steal the 100% of profits idea from Newman's Own and from Newman's Own Foundation. And I just felt like that was kind of the right thing to do. And so hopefully we'll get as many people on board as possible. I don't want to make new drinkers, obviously, but if someone's gonna have a beverage, I'd love for it to be 4 Paws.
Well, I think new drinkers are getting made every day, regardless of your efforts.
This is very, very true. Exactly. They don't need me to help them along.
So we wanted to hear about your pets too. And Danielle let slip that you may have a new one.
We do. So we have, I won't say the exact number of cats, just because I don't know if I'm, there's the state I live in, maybe that I'm not allowed to, whatever it is, but we have a nice selection. And I can tell you about each one of them as well. But yes.
Oh yeah, we're totally going to stay on after this and talk about all of them, don't you bet?
Sure. And they have their own Instagram account, of course, which I can tell you as well. So the Saturday before Father, well, let me back up. So one of the rescues that we follow here in town had posted this picture on Instagram of this adorable little kitten. And Christy and I we're always kind of talking about bringing more furry babies into the family, but we hadn't kind of been actively looking. And then we saw this one little face, and they were holding an adoption event at PetSmart that Saturday. So Saturday before Father's Day. Like, let's just go say hi to her and kind of, see.
I already know where this is going.
Dangerous.
We're just gonna go look.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we walk in, and the first little kennel that we see has not this little kitten that we had originally gone to see, but Georgie, who we have. He's this little black puffball kitten, and he was in with 2 of his siblings, and there was just something about him that immediately we were struck with. So we met the other kitten. She was adorable and amazing and wonderful. And then we held Georgie, and we were just like, we're ruined. So we went and did our shopping. In the meantime, we're like filling out the application online. And I kept checking back in. I'm like, did you get it? Are we approved? Are we approved? Are we approved? And so we were. And so essentially he was my little early Father's Day present. So we have a new little kitten named George. and he is amazing. We're doing the little whole slow introductions to the cats, and he and Freddie are already, we think, really good friends, but we want them to be best friends. But we're not going to force them. They can choose for themselves. But yeah, it's been pretty awesome having a little kitten around.
That's so sweet. We got Max a year ago, and he came Father's Day weekend, and
Nice.
And he was a teeny weeny little cute thing with big flumpy feet.
and big ears. He still has a big feet and ears too.
But does he listen with those big ears is the question.
He does. I
Yeah?
mean, because the minute he hears, I have to give him medicine every day. I grind up a Zyrtec for him. The minute he hears the Zyrtec being ground, he takes off. It's like this game.
I'm telling you, you have to try the method that I've been doing, because I could not get my one cat Thor to take meds at all. He takes his happy pill every morning, we call it. And the gravy tube is the way to go, man. The little push-up tube. I have it recorded. I keep saying I'm going to post it, and you guys will hold me accountable. I'm going to do it. But I buy 3 boxes at a clip now, just to make sure I have enough stash of it, because if that's ever gone, I don't know how I'm ever getting pills on this cat again. So maybe they need to sponsor us, because I spend a lot of money on those things every month.
Yeah, we should ask him.
Sounds like a great idea.
So Sid, one question we started asking at the beginning, and we haven't been religious about asking everybody that comes on this show, but how many cat pictures do you think you have on your phone?
I think I have probably, let's see, I'll tell you right now. My photo count is about
Where my phone is.
8,425, and I would say 8,419 are probably cats and Freddie. But before Freddie, it was probably 5,000, and there were 99.9% cat pictures. So yeah.
Freddie is not a cat.
Freddie is not a cat. Freddie is our puppy. He is a Chihuahua mixed with Min Pin, Pug, Maltese, Pekingese, Toy Poodle, Super Mutt. He's got this crazy combination of things. And Freddie joined us in March of 2021. So he was our little adoption. Christy was volunteering. Christy and I were both volunteering at the county shelter where we lived in San Luis Obispo. And this little monkey was found in a field, and he was there at the shelter on a Saturday that we were volunteering, and we saw him and immediately fell in love with him. I'll say Christy fell in love with him first, and she got to hold him, and I was a bit of a pushover, kind of. But yeah, so he joined us about 2.5 years ago, and so Freddie is our doggy in a world of cats. And sometimes I think he thinks he's a cat, because he's just been kind of raised around cats. So
yeah, and for those who are not familiar, Christy was a previous guest on our show. She also has a business that she has where her net proceeds also go to animals. And I'm actually wearing her glasses right now. So when he keeps referencing Christy, there's a previous episode we'll link to, and you can hear all about, because she talked a bit about Freddie and all the care that goes into him, and what a difficult choice that was, and how you guys really team together to be able to take care of all these furry kids.
Absolutely. It's a full-on collaboration. I'll say, I mean, she does a lot of the heavy lifting, and I just try not to get in her way and just try to help out wherever I can and make life easier as well. And P.S., I'm also wearing some Spex Eyewear.
Nice. Everybody.
So yeah, we're representing.
You have to watch on YouTube. We'll be models.
We'll have to put it on
Get the best
Instagram.
side.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I do want to see some pictures of your cats on our Facebook page or Instagram. So we
can make that happen.
And your dog too. That's okay. We say here, we love all animals. We truly do, but we only love living with cats.
They are easier. It is in a lot of ways they are a little easier, because it's like they have that independent streak, and they can kind of go do their own thing, and they want to do their own thing. Where I feel like doggies kind of need you more than cats do. So, which, by the way, I love the cat royalty background. We need to do some of that for us. That's kind of fantastic.
Yeah, my kids got those for me. The first one, so the one in the Admiral outfit is Checkers. She's passed on, but she ran the household with an iron fist. I think I might have said this on the show before, that I had 2 cat boxes in the basement, and they were self-cleaning and everything. And she had it so that everybody had to use one box for number 1 and the other box for number 2, and they couldn't.
She'd scold them if they did it wrong.
I don't know. You just look at them. I mean, this cat can kill you with a look, but it's nice to have this because it really reflects their personality. And I was kind of hoping to get these people that make these as a sponsor. I reached out, but I haven't heard back, but I probably did it wrong. So I'm going to try again. Yeah.
Can't hurt but try again, right?
Exactly.
Yes. So did you always love animals or did you grow into it?
I kind of grew into it. So growing up, I grew up in India, first 10 years of my life before we came to the States, and we didn't really have animals. I mean, there are tons of strays and stuff, and people also have their own dogs and cats, but it wasn't necessarily part of my upbringing. So it was something that I knew I loved animals. I just didn't know how much. And I think I will credit so I've been married before, and I will credit my ex-wife with the love for animals because she was a big animal lover, and so
Rubbed off on you.
big time. And to her credit, one of the most amazing gifts I ever got was my Great Dane, who I got when we were together, and then after the divorce, the Dane came with me, and she kept the cats. But that also was kind of the cascade, and so it's kind of been ever since then that I've kind of had a heart for animals. And the more that I've learned, and that's kind of why also with Boost for Paws, it was like I have to do something to be able to help all the animals that aren't being helped, can't be helped. But then just kind of trying to educate folks as well. And we talk a lot about the whole adopt, don't shop, and kind of what that means and all that stuff. So I'd say it's been there, and every day it kind of gets a little bit bigger and deeper. And then when a little muffin like Georgie arrives, I find that
Muffin leg, I love it.
Even more, he's gonna have like a billion nicknames. But yeah, so that's kind of now it's part of who I am. In fact, I'm wearing this, and of course I've got my little swag. I don't know if you guys can see with.
Oh, I love it. Oh, and
So,
a Yeti cup too.
I'm
That's
all
good.
about the animals. I know we should have them on because I'm keeping Yeti in business with all the stuff that I've had personalized and gotten. So
Well,
Can I ask a question? And I promise I won't let any of your fur kids hear the answer.
I think I know what's coming.
Who's your favorite and why?
That's a great question, and it's funny. And this is an honest answer. I don't have a favorite. I will say this. Let me caveat that I don't have a favorite all the time. It depends on what they're doing as to who at that moment is my favorite.
I could totally relate to that.
The ones that are getting in trouble, I'm like, you're not really my favorite right now. And the ones that are being sweet and amazing and cuddling, totally favorite at the time. Our first,
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because it's like I love they're all such different personalities, and so I love little things about each of them more just because it's different personalities. But then collectively, like I wouldn't be able to pick one.
So I can't wait for my husband to hear this episode because I was trying to explain how each one fits a different need for me, as selfish as that sounds. So like there's one that doesn't cuddle enough for me, but I love them. They like to follow me around. They'll sit, they'll stare, they'll come close, but I can't cuddle them. So then I need the other one that does the cuddling, but the other one only likes to do the cuddling when it's cold outside. So now I feel like I need another cat like to kind of fit in, and they can all take shifts. That sounds terrible.
I think that's a great reason to adopt another cat. Totally. There's a niche in your lineup or a void in your lineup that you need to fill. So yeah. I'm all for it. I support you.
Yeah, we were out to dinner with friends once, and the woman is a good friend of mine, and we both like shopping. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I need to go buy another pair of black shoes." And her husband looks at her, he goes, "You have 5 pairs of black shoes already." She's like, "Yeah, but they're all different." He's like, "How are they different? They're all black shoes." It's kind of the same thing with cats, right?
Yeah, totally.
But Danielle posted this hilarious cartoon on our Facebook page about 2 men with the cat. You remember, you know which one I'm talking about?
Well, you didn't describe it yet, so
And so 2 men talking about cats, and it's like, we need another cat, and the other guy's like, why? We have so many. And you have to go on our Facebook page to see the answer. I'm not going to give it away. Do you remember that one?
I don't. Now I'm going to go back and look at it.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But yeah, so each cat does have its own personality, and they all provide us with different pieces of joy and sometimes exasperation.
Definitely.
They're kind of like kids. but yeah, so have your cats done anything hilarious lately?
So Georgie has taken to, like, he's got this little apartment, we call it. So when we adopted Linus is our third cat, and we adopted him in like 2018. He had just gone through hip surgery. He'd broken his leg when he was in foster, just playing, and as cats do. And so he'd had
I've seen that happen.
Yeah. So he had to have the little, I guess, the ball of the joint removed. Anyway, so he needed to rehab. He's fine. He runs around like no problem now. But he had to be, basically, we couldn't let him jump or do any of that stuff. And he's a kitten. Like, he wanted to jump around and do things. So we had to keep him in a little apartment. So I don't know if you've seen one of the things that has like the zippy top, so you can zip the little, so it's kind of open mesh on side. So we had him in that for a little bit, and that now has been passed down to Georgie. But when George is let out, he is this little bullet that just darts around the house, and it's amazing. I know cats are fast, but I didn't realize how fast. And he can go from a like dead stop where like, okay, he's tired, he's taking a breather, and he's just boom, 100 miles an hour down the hallway again. It's pretty amazing. And we have wood floors, so when they're playing,
like galloping.
Totally galloping. The sound is amazing. And then they'll do this like little Tom Cruise risky business action where they just slide into the room with a toy, batting it down. I'm just like, your skills are incredible. I'm incredibly jealous.
So with the hardwood floors, it's funny because we have different treats. So each cat has different things that they like or don't like. And there's certain things I like hide. So like I really need them to do something, I'll pull those out. But we have these little circle ones that nobody really likes, but they bounce around the floor so well that they love them. So I just, every morning when I'm ready to start work and need them kind of out of my hair for a bit, we'll take a handful and just throw them, and they just kind of bounce everywhere, and they just start swatting them. It's like, it's entertaining.
Brilliant. We need to get some of those.
Yeah. Well, I think Max the kitten, he's really strong. He's got really long legs. He's a very oddly shaped cat. But he'll go grab the other cats, especially Mercutio, my 12-year-old, who's bigger than he is, and he'll just wrestle him off the sofa onto the ground. Mercutio doesn't like it too much. So I said to Richard, my husband, well, we should get another kitten. We could probably find a year-old kitten that would play with Max, because nobody really wants to play with Max. Max is really rough. And he's like, no, I don't think we need another cat. So we'll see.
Nice. That's actually how we ended up with Franklin, who is Linus's brother, same litter. They were obviously fostered together and everything. And then we adopted Linus, and he wanted to try and play with his sisters, who were a few years older, and they wanted no part of it. And so we were kind of thinking, well, is there, someone his own age? Turned out that Franklin was the last of that litter to not have been adopted. So we were able to adopt Franklin. And like for the first day or so, they did the kind of hissing at each other across the little baby gate set up. And then Linus hopped the baby gate, and they were off to the races. I mean, they had so much WrestleMania with the first even couple of weeks that they were together, and they'll still now just dive into each other. And I mean, hearing them going at it is just, if you don't know that they're actually playing, it's kind of like, oh my goodness, what's going on? But they love to chase each other and play and wrestle and all that stuff.
Yeah, you're reminding me of early on when we had first introduced two of my cats together, and the one was just like hissing, and I thought they were killing each other, but it's because our previous cat was just so mellow and sweet, like never played like that, like played with us, but not like a boy beating each other up or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I panicked, and I grabbed a water bottle and sprayed them. I scared the crap out of them, and then I felt bad. I'm like, and I think that I traumatized one of my cats by doing that, because I had no idea. And that's something, like when I work with the rescue, I make sure to tell them, like, if they sound like they're gonna murder somebody, that's just a warning noise. If they're hissing, that's also a warning. Like, and there's all these things. Like, there's no perfect science to it, but cats sound like they're murdering each other when they play.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a little disconcerting.
Yeah.
Well, Max has got an advantage because he's got these really long legs and these big, huge paws. So I think that kind of turns the other cats off. I don't know. Maybe I need to find another polydactyl half bobcat or whatever he is to play with him. God. Yeah, I don't know what he is. I mean, he's just very strangely put together little creature, but he's fun.
Nice.
He's baby
That's
Max.
what matters. Oh,
yeah.
We're called Mad Max.
Mad Max, we should. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I have Lily too, who's my sweet little girl. She's adorable. and of course Mercutio. But so what are some of your cats' names, Sid? If you can reveal a few
I
others.
can. So
Well, I'm already going to go back and like do the math and like create a chart and figure out everybody.
totally fine. You can, I mean, you can also just stalk them on Instagram. They're at
Yeah.
the_cats_in_ca. So Pookins is our oldest, and her name came from Christy used to talk to one of the places we lived was this very narrow triplex, and the house across from us or like next to us had this big backyard that was kind of overgrown, unkept, whatever, and there was a bunch of cats that used to hang around there. And so kind of was a generic name for cats, but then this specific one she would kind of talk to more often. She'd be having her coffee and the cat would be sitting across like on the garage roof of the place next to us. And one day Pookins shows up in our patio, and she had to literally jump from that garage to the fence, which is a very narrow fence, up to another high piece of fence, and then jump another 4, 5, 6 feet across.
Oh, she was
our
hunting you
patio.
guys. She knew
Oh
she
my
was going to
goodness.
hit gold. She's like, those are my people.
Yeah, and she saw. I mean, she knew a sucker when she saw one, and so it was like, so not only Christy but me too. So she shows up one day at on our second floor patio, and we look outside, and there's this cat. So we go outside, sit down. She knows the real sucker in the family is me, so she jumped up on my lap, curled up, went to sleep, and I was like,
And it was just done.
It
Done.
was at that point,
Sold.
forget about it. Yeah.
Aw.
So we tried to look around the neighborhood and see if she belonged to anyone. We didn't want to catnap anybody. But there wasn't, so she's been ours. So Pookins is the first one, LB is the second, which we spell it initials LB, but it's short for love bug.
Aw.
So it also ends up being a nickname ELBEE. So those are the two that we named, and then Linus
So
and
many
Franklin.
nicknames we have for
Oh my
our
God.
cats, and they just come out of my
Hard to
mouth,
keep
and I'm like,
track.
did I just say that?
Yeah.
Like Loki, we call baby cat, but it's only because
Aw.
he's the first cat we actually ever had that was teeny weeny, like a little baby cat, like a kitten. Even though he's not the youngest of our cats, that's just his name, baby cat.
It's adorable.
And he's ginormous, but he's baby cat.
So I gotta ask you with these, because Kushi's not really afraid of anything, pretty much. He's the one who disappeared for 7 months when we were moving and then showed up in our backyard on Thanksgiving weekend. I mean, it was just
I don't think I
crazy.
remember this story.
Wow.
Oh, you don't remember this?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we had to move temporarily because we're having work done on the house. And we moved to this house in Summit, and Kushi disappeared. And we looked for him and called him, could not find him. And then I'd pretty much given up. And then 7 months later on Thanksgiving weekend, we were in this little rental. Little rental house. My son and my husband were cleaning up the backyard in, it was November, and talking. And all of a sudden Sean goes, Kushi's here. And I was like, oh, don't do that to me. That's really mean. And he's like, no, Kushi's really here. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I remember now.
Yeah, so he came in and he ate like 5 cans of cat food, 5 little
He's
cans.
missing. Got
He
it.
was starving, and he'd been living off the land or with somebody else or something. But after that, he stayed with us. But
He went family hopping and then realized, wow, I had it really good. I need to go find my family now.
or yeah, I guess it's worth it to put up with how mean Checkers is, because Checkers was always really mean to it.
Aw.
'Cause- yeah. So but he is afraid of one thing. So this is a cat that is, anyway, it was found in a dumpster behind a Best Buy, et cetera, et cetera. We've had terrible thunder and lightning storms here. The thunder scares him half to death. Like he goes and hides when the thunder comes out, and he can't even take it. Do your
Poor
cats
baby.
get scared of anything like that?
So the only cat that's scared, the one that's on happy pills, and I'll let Sid answer because I know you were talking to him, but I'm just laughing because his name is Thor. So he should not be scared of thunder.
Out of the
He's
bed.
No.
terrified. Won't come out for like the rest of the night if he hears it once.
Yeah.
Oh
What
my
about your
God.
cats?
Of course, the vacuum cleaner.
Oh,
Yeah. Linus, not a fan. Frankie, definitely not a fan. LB and Pukin can kind of tolerate it, but they'd rather not be around it. If someone comes to the door, the boys will hightail it out. And Pukins is the most curious one. So if the others are gone, she's totally fine because she's like, now I have the run of the house. So she is kind of, we call her our Greta Garbo because she wants to be alone. She doesn't really want to hang out with her siblings, but she's totally cool hanging out with us. So that, and of course the fireworks, which for everyone is not.
I don't like fireworks.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have to
Well,
look
the
forward
problem
to
with the fireworks is they don't just do it 4th of July. I feel like today's Thursday before 4th of July. We're going to have fireworks for a week now. Right?
Yeah.
That's
It's
kind of
interesting
they
what you
do.
said about the vacuum. So I noticed that was something that our old cat would just get so scared, and I felt awful. So I really only vacuumed around her napping schedule. So she was sleeping, I couldn't clean. But with the
Been there.
Fosters, what I did was I purposely would run the vacuum outside the room. Then I started slowly coming in the room just to kind of see where I can push it. And now they don't care. So like I
Oh,
had
that's
to like
nice.
get them to tolerate it, but I can understand like a cat coming from a shelter or a rescue is like, what the heck is that noise? Send me back to the shelter, please. It's got to be scary.
Oh, for sure. That's actually a great way. I'd never thought about doing that whole slow introduction approach as well.
Yeah. And it
That's a really good way to
backfired
do
the
it.
first time. I'll be honest. The one cat that we were fostering, her name is Tiny. And then we'd been working on getting her to come out slowly. The only way we got her to come out was if we were playing with the other cat. She would kind of forget that we were there to kind of play with the other cats and the toys. But I pushed her too far, and then she digressed and was like, nope, going back under the cabinet. Bye.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, but the other
Yeah.
cats are good.
Good.
So now that I say that, I feel like I'm a terrifying person.
I think a lot of people are terrifying to cats. It's not
Right?
just you.
Yeah, and then with the doorbell too, all of my cats, well, my one cat's indifferent, he doesn't care. The other two, done, they're gone. They would take off, but the other one runs to the door and is like, who's here for me? Where are we going?
That was Checkers. I don't know if I told you this story, but Checkers was so cute and she loved to eat. And I would come home from the grocery store with all the groceries and I'd have to bring them up the stairs myself and unload them myself. And I had a husband and 2 kids, but so I came home one day and on the weekend, everybody was home and I yelled out, who likes to eat? And the only one who came was Checkers, came running down the stairs. She was going to help me with the groceries.
That's funny.
But Max is not afraid of much either. Like I can run water right next to him. He's coming to the shower with me. He really, I think because we got him so young and we just tried to acclimatize him to everything, that he doesn't have some of the phobias the other ones do. But
We're noticing that with some of the things with Georgie as well, is that like when Freddie barks sometimes the other cats will scatter, but George just kind of looks around like, what? Or if he's sleeping, he'll just stay asleep, which is really pretty cool. So even the day that we brought him back and Freddie barked a few times and we were like, what's going to happen with George? And he couldn't have cared less.
Do they snuggle together? Do the cats snuggle with the dog?
They don't. We're hoping that Georgie will at some point. That's kind of our forcing them to be best friends, but we don't put them together. But Freddie
Let
does
it happen
sniff.
naturally. Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely. Franklin and Linus did when they were younger. They would snuggle all the time. Pookins and LB don't get along, so there's definitely no snuggling happening there. And
just crank up the air conditioning. That's how, when I really want lovin', I make it ice cold and then they come find me. I don't care if they're using me for heat.
That's a great idea. Yeah. The boys will, in the middle of the night, all of a sudden, I will hear purring and someone will have landed up sitting smack dab on Christy and like wanting pets, or they'll walk across her, so wake her up, but then come to me and then wake me up, and it's 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like, dude, your timing is less than
Awful.
ideal, but I'll still take it. Don't get me wrong.
I
I'm
used to
not
do
sending out
that,
cuddles.
and then now I have to like play dead just so that they stop doing it. I do. I'm like, don't respond. Just lay there. Pretend you're sleeping.
Does that work for cats and bears, I guess, then? So,
I think so.
oh my goodness.
Except for with bears, you make the high-pitched noise, they run. With
There you
cats, you're
go.
like, yes, I instigated it, and they get crazy and they want more crazy noises.
I am learning so much. This has been very educational.
Now, another thing I'm curious about, just because we were just talking about it with our cat, with like their favorite toy, like, do your cats like have like the most random thing that they play with that's like not even a cat thing?
Yes, I think universally for all of them, it's a paper ball. And it was purely accidental that we discovered it. Just a little notepad paper, crumpled up a piece of paper, and I was going to throw it away, and I think I missed. And Pookins was on it. And keep in mind, we'd already bought her a whole bunch of toys, and she played with them for the first, I don't know, 5-6 minutes, and then done. But no matter how often they've played with it, if we roll a little paper ball down, Linus especially is all over it. And it's like, I need to just, I think that's another business venture. Here, we can all share it together.
My head is like going right
Of-
now. I was actually
Yeah.
going to say catnip paper. We could say it's biodegradable. We can maybe get stuff with like cat friendly seeds and they could plant it after. Yeah, my brain's already there. I don't know how not to do that.
Perfect. Let's do this. It just makes sense. It's an easy toy. Like they seem to just absolutely love it. So
Yeah, Lily used to love those too. I'd sit on the sofa and I had a little sticky pad next to me and I just crumple them up and throw, just go crazy for them.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
Tony's
amazing.
is a zip tie. So he had just the poles with the strings and the feathers on it, but it broke. He still liked it to kind of like go, but there was a sharp object on it. So my husband, trying to make it safe, put a zip tie on the end of it to like, so the part wasn't shut. That's his favorite part. We can't, if we put another feather on it, he won't touch it. He only wants the zip tie, and that's what he chases now. Wacko. Wacko
That's
too
cats.
funny.
And how wacko do they make us sound talking about what they do?
I mean, pretty insane. You can't have cats in your life and think that you're going to have any degree of normalcy to people who don't have cats in their life. Like the randomest things that we do to entertain our cats, and also for us to entertain Freddie, and dog owners are subject to this as well. But it's like you take a certain level of, hey, what are people going to think, and that has to go out the window, because you can only have so much of an idea or a care of what other people think as far as your own craziness. As long as you have someone that is on the same crazy path with you, I think it helps.
Yes.
So Christy and I bounce our crazy off each other very nicely. And then also, of course, cleaning up cat boxes instills that humility in you anyway. So you can't think you're too cool for school and then still clean out a cat box with any kind of dignity. So
No, and I've said this sounds ridiculous. I'm going to say, okay, I'll say it out loud, is I enjoy it. It's like relaxing to me, as long as it's kept up with.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a sift to sip, like done. And then they're so happy. And then if you don't do it, they're so mad at you.
Danielle, you are just part
I'm
cat.
weird.
Just face it.
I'm
You
weird.
just want to go play in the kitty litter like the cats do.
Yeah, like the foster space. We got a couple of cats that we pulled from shelters and from like the euthanasia lists and stuff. And so there's just extra litter boxes. And I was like, as long as you tell me in advance, I really don't mind. After I'm done doing all my cats, it's only 2 minutes up the road. I'll go do it. It takes me 5 minutes, no big deal. But if you don't keep up with it, forget it. That's on you. I'm not touching it, because then it's awful.
Well, when Max was a kitten, we moved one of the litter boxes upstairs. It was full of like the sandy kind of litter, right? Oh, he thought it was like the best toy in the world. He'd get on the sofa arm and jump into the box and throw the litter everywhere.
You're like, nope, never mind, out.
Never mind, right? well, Danielle, you are truly a cat person, girl.
Clearly.
I never knew that about you before.
So funny. Well, this is
there's a
fun.
fulfillment to it. It's like
What's that?
There's a fulfillment to it, because it's like
Yeah.
if there's things you can control, there's things you can't control, but a clean litter box is something you can control, which is super helpful. But one of the things that sometimes I think the boys will do is they pee over the side of the back. So we have a little piece of furniture that, and this goes back to our which one's the favorite.
When they do that, they knock down the list.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, we switched. And this is another thing too, like when I was first learning stuff on my own, I had a woman that very well intentioned, but she made me feel like I was doing everything wrong and I was a terrible cat mom and that whatever. But I got the giant litter boxes that go in the corner with the lid, and my cats love it. I tried taking the lids off because I was told, that's more for the person and not for the cat, and they don't like being closed in there, whatever. They wouldn't use it. But now I have it up because they can't splatter out. It just goes in the back of the thing and it wipes up. It's clean. It's easy.
Interesting. Because
I'll
we
share it with you.
did that for a while. Thank you. And then we were like, oh, well, the dust and whatever, maybe it'll be better for them. And I mean, it might be worth trying again. Modcat, we actually got one that it's a smaller box than we had, but it has the taller kind of plastic bits, like flexible plastic on the back of it, and that's made a ton of difference. So shout out to them for that.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out too. But yeah, like tips like this is good because and sometimes you do what you have to with whatever. It's a cat, you get a box, no big deal. But the better quality of life you make for the cats, the better quality of life for you. Like, who wants to clean that up? Find a solution to fix that. Done.
Exactly.
Right. And I would like to bring up again the tip from my vet that I've said on other shows, but Fushi was sneezing a lot. And he said, scented cat litter is not really good for them because they have a really sensitive sense of smell, sensitive noses. and that could be making them sneeze. So use the unscented, untreated cat litter, which did seem to help. So if you have a cat that's sneezing or whatever, like look at what cat litter you're using, right? So,
Totally.
Now, obviously, we could talk about cats all day.
and cat
Sid,
litter
you're perfect. We could just keep talking all day.
and cat boxes. What fun!
Anything cat related, let's do this.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious to know, so it's really cool hearing about what you're doing with Booze for Paws. What's something that you're really excited about right now? It could be about your business, it could be about working with the nonprofits, it could be about your own cats, it could be about home. Like, what's something you're super excited about coming up?
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm very excited about the future with Four Paws. So Boost for Paws is the company, Four Paws is the brand. Talking with someone about getting us on an e-commerce platform, which will make us more widely available to everyone. So right now we're just available in a couple spots
To
in
New
California. There you go. Exactly. Lots of drinkers in New Jersey, I think, and cat lovers.
Yeah.
So it should work out perfectly. So excited about seeing what that looks like, and kind of, because I spent a brief amount of time in the liquor world about 10, 12 years ago, and e-commerce wasn't a thing. So this is like a new platform and new tech, which is phenomenal and helps to navigate all the different complexities of compliance and all that stuff, which is super fun to talk about and
And even
navigate through.
between states. So my husband works for an online wine and liquor place, and same thing. There's certain rules that come out, and in different states you can or can't ship to, and then magically one day you're not allowed to do this anymore, and then the next day you are, and then there's the taxes. It's really, really fun, Sid.
Big time. Yes, I'm looking forward to diving into all of that. It's going to be so much fun.
For those who are not watching on YouTube, we are all rolling our eyes really hard right now.
Like, brother.
Exactly. Insert sarcasm here. But Christy and I actually, we're super excited to see Georgie grow, like just grow and then grow up, because we've before this, the youngest that we had was Linus, and he was 5 months, and Georgie was 12 weeks. And so to kind of just watch him, like even just to see in the 2 weeks that he's been with us, he's, how much he eats and how much he plays and what he likes and what he doesn't like. And he's very vocal about letting us know what he doesn't want and when he wants to eat and all that stuff. So he's already got us very well trained. So
Then you got to start to play dead when he's screaming at you.
Exactly.
What is it? No, play possum. I don't like to say play dead, play possum.
That's it.
We'll talk about them training us. Lily's really having a hard time because I hurt my back. And normally she comes up to me when I'm on the sofa and she just opens her mouth. She doesn't even meow. She just looks at me and opens her mouth. And I get up and I'm like, what do you want?
Because you know what she wants. Yeah.
Well, and sometimes she doesn't really want anything. Just wants me to walk around the house. I don't know what, but I haven't been able to do that because of my back.
He does that.
Yeah. And she's like,
gosh.
oh my God, you're ignoring me. What's wrong with you? So yeah, they have us well trained. Most
true. We have to keep reminding each other, or at least, I have to remind myself. I'm like, he's got a very comfortable bed in there with a brand new, very soft blanket with his name on it that he's got. He's got his litter box. He's got water. He's got dry food if he really needs it. He hasn't eaten any yet. Maybe he's had a couple of bites when he's felt desperate, but he's all about the wet food right now. So if he is meowing, he's got everything that he needs right there. If he's trying to sucker us in, because we'll open one of the sides to get him out and cuddle, because he wants cuddles. No, he doesn't. He wants out, and he is off like a race car. So he wants to just run around and go try and find his siblings. He's like, those things are interesting. What are they? So
yeah,
never a dull moment around here.
Well, this has been great. I think we don't want to make it go too long because have to keep it to a certain amount of time. But I feel like we could sit down over a cup of coffee or tea, or like a vodka and orange juice.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah, and really have a much longer conversation. Are you selling t-shirts and hoodies and stuff on your website right now?
We are. So we can, folks, if they want to find us, and again, I'll put in a little, try and get the camera right, but this is one of the designs that we have on there. They can get there a couple of different ways. So if they go to our website, which is bootsforpaws.org, and there's the little shop tab, it's got some pictures of some of the things, and there's a little link on there that'll take folks to our bonfire page. Or they can go to bonfire.com/4paws, and it's FORPAWS. And there's a few different collections that we have on there. And 100% of the profits from the t-shirts and the hoodies and any of our apparel stuff as well will also get donated to nonprofit animal rescue.
Excellent.
So, yeah, thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Sid, for being here. And we'll see you guys again next week.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. Let's keep the conversation going. Give this podcast a rating so other cat lovers can find it. Connect with the Jersey PodCats on social media or visit thejerseypodcats.com and leave a message sharing a story or question about cats. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next episode.